Yo, what's up? This is a follow-up video to the previous one I had when I talk about the new feature with the rear bias, front bias, the behavior Model 3 basically. And this time I have ScanMyTesla because I'm sitting in MC Hammer, my own Model 3 performance. So I will show you guys what's going on under the hood when they're driving like this. So right now we are in Finnskogen, somewhat twisty road and slippery road. So this is a perfect example to show you what happens when you're driving around here on the slippery surface and how the Model 3 behaves. So let's see. I have the settings are. I use sport mode on the power. What is it calling it? Let me check here. Acceleration is set to sport, and then regen is set to standard. So I have. You can see here. I have possible 74 kilowatt regen. Yes, I will not press too much on that screen, but you guys see what all those numbers are. So let me try to provoke a little bit of oversteer here. You see that for most of the time we have torque or power going only to the rear motor, and it will only kick in the front motor if needed. So let me see, I have to find a safe place to do this. We just passed a car that ran into the ditch, by the way, so you have to be careful here. It's slippery. I'm guessing that we have some icy surface on the ice and a mix of ice and compact snow on the tarmac. So let me see. Okay, let's try. Now here, for example, if I give it a little bit too much throttle. No, okay, that was not enough. Okay, let's try some more. We have to challenge the car a little bit. Okay, let's see, but I find a safe curve to do it. Okay, here, okay. Give it too much throttle, you see what happens? The back end kicks in, because like I said, this car has been set to be too much rear biased. So what I'm asking for is for the rear, for the front to kick in slightly more, and there must be slightly more front biased. I'm not talking about total front wheel drive. Now, many people who watched the previous video, they got the wrong idea. They didn't pay attention, or they're saying that, yeah, don't ruin it. No. Chill down, dude. I'm not talking about ruining the great feel of the Model 3. What I'm asking for is a new feature that you can set, like many other cars have. Let's say I haven't tested them, but I bet the I-Pace and the e-tron has some kind of snow mode where it changes the behavior of the front and rear distribution, Something like that I want to see in the Model 3 also, to make it even better. And again, I also prefer the car to be oversteering rather than understeering. Of course, why wouldn't I? You have better control if you have some oversteer. Oh, let's see. So let me just intentionally try to make the car oversteer so you can see what's happening. So for example here, if I regen too hard, let me just try to do that. You see, then yeah, if I regen too hard, then that happens. It will start. You see now I feel like it's bumpy on ice if I regen too hard. So this wouldn't happen if the car was slightly more front biased. Again, see here, typical scenario. I'm trying to regen. Okay, it regens on the front, partly in the front, partly in the rear. Oh, there's almost no traffic. Okay. See here, if I go too hard now, this will happen. Yes, but of course we have traction control, so that saves the day. Oh, look here. Oh, see, I'm trying to regen. Oh, so again, if it was slightly more to the front, that would have been better. Here, if I give it too much, then okay. Well, of course, we have the safety of the traction control, keeping everything in shape here. And I will not use track mode around here. Track mode is for using on a closed track. Don't use track mode on public roads. I bet if you use track mode and you get in an accident and Tesla can prove in the logs that you had track mode on, then that could be problematic for your insurance. I'm not sure, but I'm just guessing. But look, okay, nice twisty roads. Again, if you want to try to go a little bit too fast around the curves, then the back end tends to kick out. Let me try. Okay, we have a truck. Oh, interesting. Okay, so let's see now. Let's see if I go on this curve a little bit too fast. Nah, that's fine still. But you see, if I give it too much juice, the back end will start to kick out, which is fine because you still want to have that feedback that you are getting close to the edge of the tire's grip performance. But my claim is that because the back end has been set like this, then it tends to wiggle with the tail a little bit too early. So yeah, again, as you see now, you see that most of the time it's only the rear motor in action, and it will only kick in the front when needed, of course. But I feel like it's doing it a little bit too late. Maybe I'm not sure how the algorithm is set up to work, but it probably, you know, the ABS, when the ABS sensor senses that the rear wheels are spinning, then immediately the front wheels are kicked in. But it should be a little bit more, how to put this, proactive, you know, yeah. I'm not sure how we're going to do this. Some kind of snow mode. I think a snow mode would be great. You know, snow mode pretty much explains everything. It's self-explanatory. If you know snow mode, okay, that means that the car will change behavior to work better on slippery surface or something like that. And of course, it doesn't have to only be used in snow. It can also be used, well, other places where it's slippery. I'm not sure when, on wet tarmac maybe, but it's usually on surface like this or snow. Well, yeah, you can say it's also almost like ice mode, but yeah, in case you run into, especially actually, you know what? Especially if you run into frozen rain, black ice, then the effect I've been talking about, you know, when the rear wheels tend to lock, will be increased by a big magnitude. So that's really when you need the snow or the ice mode. So let's see now. Eventually, I should be able to overtake this truck. This truck knows that I'm behind, and he probably wants to let me pass. But yeah, we'll see when. I'm getting close to the border, so. You see, it's risky to overtake over here. No, I'm not going to do it. So unfortunately, we get stuck behind this truck. So I'm not able to challenge the car too much. Actually, you know what? Let's just do it anyway. Let's just give it, get a little bit of distance to the truck, and then try to provoke some oversteer. So again, if I just go a little bit fast, then you see that the front kicks in. If I regen a little bit too hard, you see, was a little bit of wiggling with the tail there. Then suddenly the front wheel kicked in. So let's try again in a slight curve. See, because right now we can go pretty slow because of the truck in front, so we can play around a little bit. Okay, go fast. See, rear kicks in. Go slow in a curve. Let's regen full in the curve like this, intentionally to see what happens. And you see that all the time, the car is very rear biased. Okay, even if the front wheels are kicking in, it doesn't regen, or it doesn't output power nearly as high as the rear motors. I guess simply because it's the most efficient motor in the back, and Tesla chose to save energy. But again, I'm not sure how much it is saving though. I would imagine that the front motor is still fairly efficient. So okay, let's try again. Let's just play around with the what happens if you go standstill. Let's try now. There's so little traffic here, so I can just completely stop. Okay, and then if I just start accelerating, yeah, then it's more even in front and rear. Okay, wow, yeah, so interesting. And then what about if I try to regen full here, full regen, okay, in a curve, which is not optimal. Nicely done. Yes, nicely done. So, and by the way, for you guys who are wondering, I'm using Nokian Hakkapeliitta R3 19-inch studless tires. Yes, so they are damn good on weathers like this. Okay, let me see. I think this is the place where I could overtake. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, he helps. Okay, nice for the milkman to help me. Yeah. So then I'm gonna give him the extra blink. Okay, Dankeschön. Okay, now let's go a little bit faster now. Okay, let's go schnell. Finnskogen, yes. This is the place where no one can hear you scream. Oh, that's Sverige. Okay, we are in Riksgräns, Sverige. Yeah, right. Did you notice that the road immediately improved once we got to Sweden? Well, okay, maybe not. It's kind of bumpy over here. Okay, but let's go schnell now. So, I think the Swedes, they are less salt trigger happy. The Norwegians, they just love the salty roads like crazy, which kind of ruins it. Or I believe it makes things worse, because when you have a little bit of salt on the surface like this, then it might make it slipperier, more slippery. Whereas if most of the time when I drive in Sweden, I mean, eventually after a while, after the salt has kind of disappeared, then I feel like I have better grip. It's more predictable. It's just snow and compacted snow and ice, you know. So, we have preconditioning of supercharging. Oh, interesting. I'm 33 kilometers away from Torsby supercharger, and you see that now suddenly I have power going to the front more also. So it's doing the whole preheating process right now. The battery status, the temperature is at 25 degrees Celsius, so it's trying to raise it to about 30-35 degrees before we enter the supercharger. But anyway, let's try to drive like we stole a car. You know, let's see what happens if we can provoke some more oversteer. This car will always oversteer. It will not understeer. I almost never encountered understeer, which is good. I really love the way Model 3 drives, but it's just those few times when it's really slippery that I wish I had a little bit more front bias. So I actually wonder what's gonna happen now that, you know, the whole preheating thing, I call them the afterburners. You know, it's a method that Tesla uses. It's a freaking brilliant idea, actually, to use the front and the rear motors to generate heat. And then because Tesla has a very sophisticated system, then they use that leftover heat and transfer it to the battery to heat up the battery. So, but is that that mode that it's doing? I noticed at low speed that the ride is not that smooth anymore, because obviously there's going some power to the motors to generate heat, and I wonder if it affects the performance right now on you know, wet surf. Well, it's kind of wet on slippery surface or not. We should see. You look over here. Whoa! Speaking of wet surface, oh, do you see? Careful! So I have 19 years of experience with driving in winter. So I've been. You could say that, you know, like they say in Norwegian. You know, I've vært ute en vinterdag før. Yes, I've been out before in the winter. So you know, I should know how to drive on proper roads. And knock on wood, I have never crashed the car in winter on public road. Never actually had any accidents or anything in winter. What happens on a closed track is a different story, because over there, you know, people tend to explore the limits, go a little bit past the limits, and of course, with any rally or motorsports, accidents will happen. Yes, it can happen to the best or the worst or the noobs or whatever. So, but okay, let's see. I'm not challenging the car enough now. So we have a little bit of twisty roads before we get closer to Torsby. So let's try to drive like a Finnish rally driver. No, let's not do that. Drive like Häkkinen. oh, Achtung. Oh, it's the middle of the road. Okay, regen, brake. Yes, be careful. I think that, oh, yeah, it's sanding, yes. Okay, you see, over here it's probably better to oh, what the heck is that guy's eating the lane like crazy. Yeah, so now it's different, because suddenly we have, interesting, we have sand. Yeah, that guy was sand the floor. Yeah, Mr. Miyagi, sand the floor. Yeah, wax on, wax off. No, suddenly now we on on the right side, I have slippery surface. On the left side, I have sanded surface, which is slightly better. So let's see what happens if we accelerate from a standstill. What's going to happen then? Let's try. I sound like the villager, right? Okay. Full throttle. Oh, nicely done. Yeah. So, okay, I'm not sure what... Now, we don't see the power to the left or the right wheel or whatever, but I would assume that the car's traction control is smart enough to figure out that we have good traction on the left wheels. So we will apply more power to the left wheels. Yes, something like that. Okay, let me see. We're not going to drive too crazy here. Okay, you know, I want to try one slightly in the middle because that's where all the sand is. But interesting. Yes. But this video is probably long enough. At least you guys. Okay, I didn't pay full attention to what's going on ScanMyTesla, but you guys got an idea. You know, when I try to provoke something. Okay, now this time, if I do full regen, because we have more traction on the left wheels, then they won't lock, or they won't the tail won't wiggle as much as before. So let's see now. Let's try again. There are a few more sharp curves before we get closer to Torsby. So let's see over here. Go Schnell and then full regen. Yeah, okay, still doing some crazy stuff there. Yeah, okay. But yeah, so I think that's gonna be it for now. Yes. If you guys are interested, I could try some more. Actually, you know what? I think I will try some more on the ice track. Yes, over there. Hopefully, it's really slippery, and if I have enough, I will choose one of the tracks with good enough space so I can play around and see what happens. You know, when stuff. Yeah, what happens with the front, rear, and all that. But this one is on public road, so we have to be careful as usual. So I think that's going to be it for now. Yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching and talk to you later.